Good morning, boys and girls. It's good to see you here this morning. It's Wednesday, so it's time for our social studies lesson. I want you to take out and pause if you need to. Take out your Scholastic News on First to Fly. We're going to talk about a very extraordinary, amazing woman named Bessie Coleman. And the reason that we are doing this Scholastic News today is because it's Women's Awareness Month. And it's also, last month was Black History Month. So we're going to combine our 2 months and take a look at this wonderful lady. So go ahead and take this out of your pink folders. And what I want to do is I want to go ahead and read this aloud to you. But first, before I do, is I want you to go into your Schoology and I want you to take a look at your questions first. So first thing I want you to do is, before you listen to the read aloud, please go in and listen to read the questions, because that's going to help you go back into your questions and know what you're looking for as we read. So you're actually gonna do 2 reads, so that way you get a second read aloud, which is called close reading. Ms. Bowder has talked to you guys about close reading, so keep that in mind as you read, and you're going to read it again. So read it once. We're going to read it once. Make sure you read your questions, read it again, and then go back and answer your questions. Okay? All right, so let's take a look. We're going to open up to this page right here, and I'm going to go ahead and start reading with the title. So, History Makers, Bessie Coleman. Her dreams became wings and flew her straight into history. What a wonderful way to start. So let's take a look at our first paragraph. In 1922, a small airplane flew in the shape of an 8 high above a New York airfield. Suddenly, the plane shot down toward the ground. Seconds before it would have crashed, the plane swerved back up into the sky. The brave pilot was Bessie Coleman. She was famous for her daring meaning brave, right? Aerial stunts. But she was an aviation leader in an even bigger way. Coleman was the first Black woman in the United States to get a pilot's license. So if you look over here to the right, you have a words to know box. We're going to take a look at those words real quick. The word airfield is a flat area where the aircraft take off and land. And aviation is the business or the practice of flying aircraft. So she was an aviator, and an aviator is a person who is in the business or in the practice of flying the aircraft. So let's go ahead and continue. Dreaming of more, that's our subheading. Coleman was born in Texas in 1892. Her father was Black and Native American, and her mother was probably the daughter of enslaved Black parents. Coleman's poor family picked cotton to earn money. Dreaming of a better life, Coleman moved to Chicago to live with her older brother in 1915. Later, her brother John traveled to France. He told Bessie about the female pilots there. He kidded her and said, "You can't do that," says Russell Lee. He works at the National Air and Space Museum. She took that as a personal challenge. So the person that is making that quote is actually the brother, but this gentleman is a person that works in the National Space and History, or National Air and Space Museum. So he's kind of helping give you an understanding of what her brother was kind of telling her back in those times. Becoming a pilot wouldn't be easy. At the time, there were few opportunities for Black people in the United States. So not only were there few opportunities for Black people, but there were also very few opportunities for Black people and women as well. So at that point in time, women didn't have all the same rights as white men either. So really, when we look at Women's History Month, we're also looking at when women were able to be given more rights as individuals also, along with our idea of her being a black woman. So very interesting time. Taking flight, that's our next heading. Coleman was determined to become a pilot, but she couldn't find a flight school that would accept a black woman as a student. So she moved to France, where she was accepted into flight school. Coleman earned her license in 1921. She returned to the United States with a new dream to open a flight school for black women. While she worked toward the goal, Coleman became a barnstormer, a pilot who performs dangerous stunts. She amazed audiences with tricks like loop-the-loops. She even walked on the wing of a flying airplane. That'd be kind of scary. Inspiring others is our next heading. In 1923, Coleman's plane crashed. She was badly injured, but she didn't let that stop her. So she was very determined, wouldn't you say? She was very inspirational in that she was brave to do the things that she wanted to do and look forward to inspiring others to do what they wanted to do. Tell them all that as soon as I can walk, I'm going to fly, Coleman wrote. 3 years later, Coleman was the passenger on another plane that crashed. Sadly, she died. Although she didn't live long enough to open her school, Coleman inspired others to become pilots. So let's take a look down here at the bottom of some of the people that she may have inspired in her own desire to become a pilot. So first flights. These black aviation pioneers changed the course of history. So in this very first box right here, you're going to hear about, in 1932, James Banning became the first black pilot to fly across the United States. Then in the second frame, you see the Tuskegee Airmen were the first black aviators in the U.S. military that fought in World War II. So there is actually a movie based on this. I'm not sure if it's an appropriate movie for third graders, but this was a true individual group of men that were basically an all-black group of men that did fly in the World War II. And then in 1992, astronaut Mae Jemison became the first black woman to travel into space. So, some very interesting history, and again, it's black history along with women's history. So I hope you enjoyed listening to this little, basically an autobiography. It's a little tidbit of information about Bessie Coleman's life. And go back into your Schoology folder today and answer your comprehension questions. I'll be checking in later and seeing how well you did, and I'm sure you guys are going to do very well because you're listening to this twice, right? So I will see you guys tomorrow in math, and have a great day. If you have questions, I will be answering Schoology messages today. Bye.